When Carl said he did his time, I completely understand what he means by that. At the time, Carl and Bryce were having a conversation about Melanie and Sincere and how Sincere's mental health might be taking a toll. He said he's been moping around the villa. He looks pretty sad and down. Bryce even mentioned that everyone else had this like beautiful, harmonious moment with their families, but Sincere didn't get that. It was sort of ruined with talking about the situation between him and Melanie the entire visit. And even while they were having that conversation, Sincere was having a conversation with Melanie. And these are some of the faces he was making. Of course, he looks a little disengaged, a little upset, possibly sad. And that makes sense. You see, they're on this island potentially for 6 weeks. And when it comes down to Melanie and Sincere, yeah, they've been there since day one. And although he has made mistakes and he absolutely needed to hear from his dad, I think what he also needed was a hug and to say, I still love you, son. Something about the outside. How's grandma doing? What's my little brother doing? Something to connect him back to his family and not so much focus only on the situation. Yes, the conversation needed to happen, but unfortunately, Sincere didn't get to have a moment of peace and connection with his family. His younger brother tried, but the subject was still centered around his actions in the villa. I understand why his dad felt the need to talk about it, especially in front of Melanie and her family. But I do think that people tend to forget that they are sequestered on an island with people who just met them 6 weeks ago. And that little moment with people that they love and who actually know them and their character means so much. And that's why they usually cry because not because they're sad, but because they're just so happy to see a familiar face. And maybe if the conversation could have just gone off into something else, even just for a moment, he would have felt a little better about the situation. So, what I gathered from the conversation with Carl and Bryce is that they were giving him grace and they were saying he's heard it from Melanie. He had to be publicly scrutinized on movie night. He had to hear it again from Melanie. He had to hear it from his dad. He essentially heard through the grapevine from Melanie's sister, and now Melanie's upset again. And so I think they were just concerned about his mental health and making sure that he's able to pick himself back up because it seems like he's had discussions with them about him doing better.